Well, Razorback fans, you know what time it is. Got to ask the age-old question. What if Arkansas beats the Auburn Tigers? Let's talk about in today's Locked On Razorbacks podcast.
You are Locked On Razorbacks, your daily podcast on the Arkansas Razorbacks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome into the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. I am your host, John Nabors. I am also the host of Inside Arkansas Live, which you can catch every weekday starting at noon on Inside Arkansas and InsideArkansas.com. This episode is brought to you by Mazda. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. Stay tuned later for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward. Mazda, move and be moved. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Friday as you finally made it to the weekend, as we're going to talk about some of the things going on in the SEC and looking at the games and what to watch for, maybe potential new coaches and everything like that. But I wanted to start today's podcast, and it's so, there's so much to it with the what if question that I am breaking it up into one segment and the other segment. I'm breaking it up into where Arkansas gets the what if question if they win and also the what if they lose, because there are extremely high and extremely large impacts to all of this. And I'm also going to talk about some of the things that I understand and I kind of been hearing, if you want to call it that, of what the situation is with the landscape of Arkansas football coaches, ones are targeting, ones are not, and everything like that. But I want to start with the positive and what if Arkansas beats Auburn? And I don't really know if I could sit here and say that beating Auburn would have given the same feeling of beating Tennessee on the road or beating Texas A&M at home last week, because obviously those were top-tier teams, top 10, top 5 in some cases. And honestly, I don't think beating Auburn would be the same impact or have the same feeling if you beat LSU, beat Texas, even beat Missouri. I guess we're really down to these two games, these next 2 weeks, as far as ones that Arkansas feel confident that they could and maybe even should win. You're facing an 0-4 SEC team in Auburn, and Mississippi State, we'll see what they do, but they're 0-4 as well. And they might be when you face them. So you have some opportunities in front of you, but we're sticking with Auburn in the what if scenario of you win. Well, what if you win? Well, if you look at the betting odds, if you go to FanDuel, you'll see Arkansas is favored to win this game. Just barely. It's not an overwhelming amount of points, but I never thought I'd see the day for a bit where Arkansas would be favored in an SEC game, but here they are. So it wouldn't be this monstrous upset. It wouldn't be the leading off Sports Center every single second of the night because of this major upset that you had. In fact, most people will probably be watching this game, if they watch this game, to see if this gets to be like a crazy game because of the whole aspect of the great offense, the great defense, the bad defense, like all of those elements to it. But if you win, but if you're Arkansas and you win this game, what does it mean? Well, first off, it's great because you finally get the offer thing out of the way. Arkansas has had way too many 0-8 seasons in SEC play. They had one with Brett Bielema and 2 with Chad Morris. So really, in the past 12 years, you've had 3 already. You've also, on top of that, had 2 seasons with only 1 SEC win. And you're talking about 5 of the last 12 years, essentially. Not great, Bob, not great. But to get that monkey off your back, to be able to get that win and get through, I think it's really going to go a long way. And what's also interesting is that this is a particular game where if you look back previously to the SEC games you've already played, the other ones were against really high-quality opponents. You know, they were against teams that, like Ole Miss, you got Tennessee, you got Texas A&M. I mean, really good opponents. And now I guess you are 0-3, not 0-4, but you know what I'm saying. But now you're at the point where you can really justify an actual win and having confidence in going into this game with this win. And if you do it, it's just going to be nice. It's not going to change the entire landscape of everyone's mind on the season and like, oh my goodness, now we're cooking. It's not going to make everyone start believing that, Arkansas is here to stay and this is the new team in the new season or anything like that. It's just going to finally be, all right, there's one. Let's see where it goes from here. You're a better team than Auburn. As crazy as it is to say, and as stupid as it is to say, you are a better team than the Auburn Tigers. Doesn't mean it'll show up on the field, because I'm sure if Arkansas loses, I'll hear about it. But we'll talk about what if Arkansas loses. But the point is that you're the better team. You are the team that has, I would say, a better morale right now, because they still have their head coach in Hugh Freeze. It seems inevitable that he's going to get fired. And they have been battling against some good teams defensively, but the offense has given them nothing, absolutely nothing to help them out. So if you're Arkansas, you should see this as blood in the water, because I don't know what Auburn's still fighting for. Are they still fighting for their coach Hugh Freeze? Are they still fighting for it? Maybe, but I think at every single point in time, you see teams let go of the rope. And in this particular case, Auburn doesn't have this overwhelming amount of talent that the talent alone will beat Arkansas. I think you have a better coach in Bobby Petrino. Yes, I think Bobby Petrino is a far better coach than Hugh Freeze. Not to say Hugh Freeze hasn't had his own success, but you're the team that should win this. You're at home. You're fighting for something. Your coach is a lot more motivated. I think Bobby Petrino is a lot more motivated, or he should be a lot more motivated than Hugh Freeze. He won't say it, and nobody else will say it, but Bobby is still wanting this job. And so you're going to have a team that's well prepared. You're going to have a team that's really understanding of the circumstances, and they're going to be all about it. But also, if you win this game, from the Bobby Petrino perspective, you're not going to give him the permanent job immediately. You're not. You shouldn't. I don't believe that there will be a decision on that for at least a couple of weeks. But if you're Bobby Petrino, this is a game you cannot lose. So if you win it, and then you're able to take care of Mississippi State, which I think in most cases people would probably say that should happen. If you're able to do both of those games and win, you head into the bye week, then suddenly that interim tag is taken off. I'm not saying that's what should happen. I'm just telling you that that's my belief. That's what I think they end up doing. And then you start seeing, once the interim tag is removed, they get back to recruiting. They get back to put together a staff. They put together a game plan moving forward. You start seeing the support of the NIL. I think that's when the new direction of the collective and the NIL for the University of Arkansas starts coming into play. And everything starts to come together, and boom, it takes off. But you can't do that without winning this game. So if you win this game, that suddenly puts Bobby Petrino, and some people may even say that he's already in the driver's seat, but it really puts him into the driver's seat as far as moving forward and being the team that everyone's like, all right, well, Bobby's the guy, and you got to rally behind him. A lot of you fans won't like that. I get it. But it's something to where you're either going to have to get behind it, or you're going to have to find another team. And I'm not saying that in an insulting way. I'm just saying that it's just would probably be what happens. But it's also about how you beat Auburn. If Arkansas beats Auburn to where their offense just cooks their defense, then it's really going to get nasty for Auburn, but it's also going to be that much more impressive by Arkansas, because, losing those games close to get to that point. And if you beat the crap out of them, it's really going to make a statement. But here, as weird as it is, because I'll take the win no matter how it happens, folks. I'll take the win. But here's what's kind of weird in my own psychology, my own ridiculously stupid mind. If Arkansas was going to win this game, you know what I would prefer to see? That's right. I'd prefer to see a one-possession win. Why? Yeah, all that'd do is cause more stress, right, during the game. The roller coaster of emotions, not knowing what, just being so stressed out and frustrated and all that. You're right. You're absolutely right. But I want to kind of break that thing that's lingering around the team. I want to break that completely. I want Arkansas to get a one-possession victory. Because by doing that, it's another thing that you get off your back. That you break it a little bit, and you suddenly prove to yourself as a team, as a fan base, as a coaching staff, as everybody's like, all right, those one-possession games that we have sucked in for so long, and we've had past two games be those, this one we finally got over the top. We finally figured out a way to win. Again, I will take a blowout win for Arkansas. I don't think that's how it's going to be, but I would take it for sure. But to see this team will themselves, and especially if they do it in a way of making the plays down the stretch, no fumbles, going down the field, driving down the field, making those plays, that to me would stand out a lot more and be a lot more incredible than saying, oh, they have a big lead, then they blow it, then they win by one possession. I don't want that. I want Arkansas to be the team that makes the plays, that makes the stands, that makes the moves, that wins the game in the fourth quarter. I want to see it. And if they do that, it's also going to shift the voodoo a little bit and try to give this team a little bit more confidence. Like, hey, even if we're a close game, we can find a way to win. I just think Arkansas should win. That's what if they win. But we also got to talk about the other side, because as we all know, there is that possibility. You know, it's crazy. What if Arkansas loses this game? Might be a lot more impactful. We'll talk about that in a second. So stay with us here on Locked On Razorbacks podcast. All right, Razorback fans, this episode is brought to you by Mazda's Moving the Game Forward. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it. There are moments that do more than just put points on the board. They move crowds, they move culture, and they keep moving the game forward. This week's moment that move the game forward is, of course, looking back on the performance by Taylon Green for the Razorbacks against the Texas A&M Aggies. I know that there were a lot of cases to where he may have taken some sacks, but some of the plays that he made with his legs, with his arm while on the run, throwing passes to players and finding them in very tight windows, like all those things, the guy's incredible. And he can continue to be that type of player. And even this weekend against Auburn, who has a really good defense, again, I know they have a really good defense. They could really be the team that stands out if Taylon Green's making Auburn pay. He can wear out a defense. He can make a defense suffer and get all upset and frustrated because of how good he is, and I think he'll do the same thing in this one. So when you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning, just like Taylon Green. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to every Mazda vehicle. It's Mazda, move and be moved. Okay, so moving on into the next segment of the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. So looking ahead, of course, to Arkansas, we talked about the question of what if they win this game against Auburn, but now it has to become what if they lose. I know. Crazy to think about if Arkansas actually could lose this game. But there is a chance of it. There's an absolute chance of it. And I'm going to tell you, as I said before earlier this week, if Arkansas loses this game, I am not going to have Bobby Petrino as somebody who is in my list of coaches that I want to take over permanently with the program. Now, let me be clear. That's not me saying he can't win me back, because let's be honest, if they lose to Auburn, but they won their final 4 games, then obviously it changes. But it's a fluid situation. It moves back and forth and everything. And if that was to happen, it would really, really take me out of it. And so it would ultimately really change things. I think that, honestly, some of the people involved with the coaching search, they're waiting for a reason to hire Petrino. They're waiting for a reason to make him the guy. And all it takes is just a couple wins and boom, he's there. But as I said before, I can justify losing to a top 5 Texas A&M at home by a possession or losing to Tennessee on the road by a possession. I can't justify losing to this Auburn team. Auburn's defense is good. It's legit. And Arkansas's offense is really good too. One of the best in the SEC, if not the best in the SEC. But you have to win this one at home. Bobby is a great game planner, and I think he'll put together a game plan. And that's great. Like, I think between the Arkansas offense and the Auburn defense, I think Arkansas has the edge. But it's about that other side, the gross side, that horrible Auburn offense versus that horrible Arkansas defense. If Arkansas's defense can't get anything in this game, they never are. It's just not going to happen. It's inevitable that they're just going to continue to be average to below average. It's just going to be bad. And so they have to find a way to cause something, to cause some turnovers, to do something. But I just feel like all the good things that I have felt about Arkansas football since Petrino's taken over, which you all know I have, the fight that this team has had, the buy-in that they've had. I know Cam Ball's not going to be in this game right now, which is huge, but the leadership that has been shown, the game planning by the coaching staff. I mean, they don't even have a defensive staff pretty much. Like, they've had to put it together a little bit, and all these things, it's like, it gives me the good feelings. I know you don't want to have the moral victories, but given the circumstances, the way the team's played the past 2 weeks, it gave and has given me hope that a game like this against Auburn, this team will win. That's what those 2 games did. I'd rather have won them, believe me. We all would have. But it gives me hope that you go up against a team that you are better than. Arkansas was not better than Tennessee or better than Texas A&M. They're better than Auburn. It gives me that hope for this. And if you smash that hope with your loss, if you smash it and it's done and it's over with and you have no chance in it, then it takes a lot more for it to get back with me. It takes a lot more for me to start believing and buying in and thinking it's all going to be hunky-dory once again. Because even if Arkansas beat Auburn, or even if they beat Mississippi State, it still won't feel great about them winning any of those 3 games at the end of the season. But it takes in such a turmoil because, as I talked about with the bye week, people who are wanting Petrino or think that Petrino could be the head coach moving forward, they may make him the guy if he wins this next 2 games in the bye week. But what if he only wins 1? And if it's not Auburn, what if they beat Mississippi State? I don't know if that's going to encourage everybody. I don't think it's going to be like, woo, let's do this right now in the bye week. People are still going to be in wait and see mode. And I may be one of those people. But if you lose to Auburn, it's going to take away all that goodwill. It's going to take away all of that positive feelings and losses that you've had, which is so stupid, but it's true. It's going to take all that away. I'm going to have my belief is going to be out the window. Because then it's going to become, I know some of you already think it's like, oh, well, Petrino's doing the same stuff Sam Pittman is. It's going to take any of those feelings that I had that, okay, well, this is different from Pittman. This is different. And I can justify it because of these things. If Arkansas loses a game like this to Auburn, especially if it's a 1 possession, that's no longer a thing. I can no longer say, oh, it's just a Pittman thing. No, it's a Pittman, Petrino team curse, whatever it is. It all becomes the same with everything. So I can't justify it. I can't feel good. I can't move forward. I can't be somebody that feels like it's all going to be okay with the current circumstances. And honestly, I feel like if Arkansas loses this game against Auburn, you may lose the team once again. You've gained them back, but how could you not? If you're Arkansas and you're for this football team and you don't beat Auburn, like how can you just sit there and be like, what do we do? How can we do this? Because if Arkansas loses this game, it's going to be because their offense sputtered. It's going to be because the defense for Auburn caused some major problems for Arkansas's offense. And once again, Arkansas, the battle of the bad between Auburn's offense and Arkansas's defense, it would also mean that Auburn's offense defeated Razorback defense, which would really, really be the worst thing. We know both are really bad, and we know Arkansas is pretty much dead last in defense, but man, you talk about demoralizing, where if you can't even have a speck of success against that tremendously awful Auburn offense, then you might as well put me or you out there, is how it's going to feel. So it's going to really turn it all up in its head again. Any sort of goodwill is gone. Any sort of goodwill. You have to win. If you want this to work, and Bobby Petrino, I know you're listening to me. You know I love you, bud. You have to win this game. If you want to be the Razorback head coach moving forward, you have to win this game. You have to prove to me that you're a winner. You have to prove to me that you can do this. And I'm not going to have any sense of that belief if you can't beat this Auburn team at home. And the main thing about it, folks, is, and I talked about this on Inside Arkansas, but I want the fans to have something to feel good about at home because they don't ever have it. Do you realize, folks, that over the past 4 years or the past 4 seasons, you've had 4 SEC home wins? 4. Last year, you had 1 against Tennessee. The year before that, you had 0 because your 1 win was against Florida on the road. And then the year before that, actually, it's only 3. This would be your 4th. And the year before that, you only had 2. You had 2 at home against Ole Miss and South Carolina. Fans need to be rewarded sometimes for their efforts. They almost were last week. This time they need to be rewarded. And if you lose this game, Why should fans come back? Why should I go to Mississippi State next week? Win the dadgum game. Please. We'll look around the SEC as well as some other games going up. Really good weekend, besides Arkansas, of course, and what it'll mean, who to watch for. We'll talk about that, so stay with us here on Locked On Razorbacks. All right, Razorback fans, it's almost the weekend. It's time to look back and crown this week's MVP on Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more and every time you order. These players delivered when it mattered the most. So let's break it down. The thing is this past week, it was a huge delivery and a huge performance by Mike Washington. Razorback running back Mike Washington. We've seen a lot of great things coming out of him. He was averaging nearly 10 yards a carry last week. He's got over 7 yards a carry going on for the Razorbacks. He can be the difference maker. Taylon's great. Receivers are great. The offense is great, but there's nothing better and more complimentary to help out a quarterback like Taylon is if he has a running back that's really been effective, and he has been effective the past 2 games. I'm hoping that he can be effective once again in the game tomorrow. And just like Mike Washington delivered for Arkansas, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays. With DoorDash Streaks, you save every Saturday that you order. Stack it up all season long. You could save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. So order this Saturday. Keep the streak alive. Fuel your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply. Promo period through November 18th. We're also presented by our friends over at FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer that you do not want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the entire app. It makes football watching that much more exciting, and when you have a little something riding on it, it makes it a lot more fun when you win. Whether you're a casual fan or diving into the stats, FanDuel makes the game day experience that much better. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today to get started. All right, so final segment here on the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. Great games going on this weekend. I know everything's been focused about Arkansas and what they got going on, but just looking at it from the SEC perspective, you got Oklahoma and Ole Miss at 11 a.m. Man, like here's what's crazy to me, folks. I know I'm not like a brilliant mastermind when it comes to many things, but Ole Miss is number 8 in the country. Oklahoma's number 13 in the country, and you can go to this game for as low as $22. I don't get it. But either way, that game's happening early. It's happening in Norman. If Ole Miss is going to be legit a playoff contender, if they want to go to the playoffs, they got to win this game, obviously, like to be in SEC contention. But Ole Miss, you have to win this game. You have to win this game. You can't let Oklahoma win if you want to be serious. I wouldn't mind it if Oklahoma won personally, but you have that. You also have Alabama, South Carolina, nothing too crazy, but the Missouri Vanderbilt games, just like we all thought. College game days there. Vanderbilt's favored in this game by 2.5 points. I really want Vanderbilt to win. People are going to be like, just because you hate Missouri. Yeah, it's part of it, but also it's because I think it's a cool story, and I would love to see Vanderbilt being actually in the mix for a college football playoff spot. They're sitting at 6-1, and they've had some really good wins. I mean, they beat LSU. Why can't they beat Missouri? It's going to be a battle for both these teams. Both those teams wanting to go to the playoff, maybe even compete for an SEC title. It means everything to them. So it could be a nasty game, and probably a low-scoring game. I'd probably bet the under. But I'm hoping for a good one. Texas and Mississippi State would be really funny if Texas lost that one. How about A&M and LSU? LSU is looking for a bounce back, and this game's, of course, at night. They're looking for the bounce back in a major way because Brian Kelly, I'm not saying that he's going to get fired at the end of the season. However, if he keeps losing, they're sitting at 5-2. They lose another one like this, go to 5-3, 2-3 in SEC play. Still some tough games ahead. It could end up being bad for old BK. But A&M's going to try to keep it going where they can stay undefeated. I really don't want them to, but they're looking good right now. And if they go into Death Valley at night and beat LSU, it'll say a lot for it. And then Tennessee, Kentucky, sure, why not? But that does it. It's going to be a great weekend. Hopefully everyone stays dry. Hopefully everyone enjoys the game. Razorback basketball's happening tonight too. Can't wait for that too. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's make a weekend out of it, shall we? Appreciate each and every one of you listening in and watching into the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or on Google Play. You can also get after me on Twitter at John Nabors Show for any questions, comments, concerns you may have. You'll keep it going from there. Same podcast time, same podcast channel next Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you then.